Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on a special day, right? Today is November the 5th, 2024, on a Tuesday. And we all call it Election Day, right? We call it in America, an election day. And I just wanted to come on through. I've been having issues with my internet and my I've been having issues lately with my internet service, and I think it's been going on for a while. Maybe, so I know that there's efforts behind the scenes. There's always efforts behind the scenes. But again, a lot of people do not understand energy and how, what energy, whether it's positive or negative. A lot of people have no clue what it means about energy. So I want to take this moment to come on in and kind of say some things, right? Just to put some sounds in your ear for you to contemplate, cultivate, properly meditate, and properly ruminate about. And these, as I've said so many times, these are defining moments. These moments are defining. And I think for the first time, a lot of people are snapping out of it. I know that. I can sense and receive it. They're just snapping out of their delusions and their hallucinations, and they're becoming more grounded and aware that, whoa, what have I allowed to happen? What have we allowed to happen? So here we are facing each other at these crucial moments in time. It's not just about the election, by the way. It's about the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the cosmic changes that have been happening right before our eyes, the destruction of our climate, the devastation, and the fact that we are at this for the sixth time, destroying parts of this planet, which is a huge planet, by the way. And so a lot of things were happening right by, as they say, right in plain sight. But because of our, because of a lot of interference, of course, and because of our lack of development, sometimes intentional and sometimes just as a form of immaturity, a lot of us did not. We just weren't not properly developed. A lot of us, and that has nothing to that. There's no blame there. But we can blame our complacency, our procrastination. We can blame our insistence on holding on to beliefs that serves no one, and especially you. We know that beliefs are unproven, but yet people, quote unquote, live by it or live by them. I told you have to. If you choose to, remember you have free will, which a lot of people are also recognizing as well. You have free will. You have free will. Even though we are being suppressed, unlike any other time in our inception, with that encasement of negativity, you still have free will. And no one has to know. You have to be creative and figure things out a little bit differently without necessarily, talking about it per se. You could have as many inner working conversations within yourself that are kind and gentle towards yourself to get you through this. That's where the ego comes in as well. The ego can help with that. Even though the ego, you don't want your ego running the show, but the ego is an assistant. It can help you to understand, okay, you know that you've been lying to people. You know that you've been deceiving people. You know that you've been manipulating people with criminal energy, whether it's how you sway and move your hips, okay, or how your thoughts of perversion. You have this and these backdoor intentions of degeneracy, indoctrination, just perversion, just criminal evil behaviors and actions that come from the thoughts, but those are intentional. And then a lot of us are, as I said as well, operating unconsciously, unaware, But at the same time, that's, that no longer holds water. Okay? It no longer holds water. Right. So when I got up this morning, I was just kind of thinking around stuff, and then I something came to my mind. Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome was destroyed in a matter of days. Understand that? So it says it's it's a Rome wasn't built in a day. This is what it says online here. It's an adage attesting to the need for time to create great things. Okay? So apparently Rome was the envy of all, I guess, right? Because there's no way to know exactly what happened during those times, because it just, there a lot of information has been whitewashed, destroyed, blah 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 blah. But at the same time, I told you we hadn't changed in 2,000 years. Okay, we hadn't changed. So bring it all modern style, okay, and incorporate yourself into those realities. About Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome was destroyed within a few days, right? So it says, great. It means that great things take time and effort, okay. But then when you go to the fall of the fall of it all, that happens simultaneously, and it's just it's more, just as destructive. When you're building, you're destroying usually, right? Because you're constructing. When you're building things up, you're building a building. It requires construction. It requires, making a mess, so to speak. Well, the same thing happens when it's destroyed as well, right? The similarities. That's what you need to look at and consider and stretch your imagination and understand what can happen. We can build things up and at the same time destroy it to the ground. Okay? And that comes with our thinking as well. That's why I say you have to monitor how you're thinking and be mindful of what you're thinking about, and take time to breathe and ground yourself before you make crucial decisions. And you just have to think about why you're doing something, if you choose to. But just make sure you stay present and understand what we're up against. It's deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. Okay, so how do you snap yourself out of that? Ask yourself. Okay, the answers are within you. Okay, you know what to do. Some of you, as I said, you know what to do. You understand what it means to be right and what it means to be wrong. We're not babies, okay? Even though we are behaving as such, this planet is advanced. I mean, this planet is actually 5 billion years old, but a lot of people believing it's 3 billion. Understand? There's just, but who's going to be honest with us and tell us the truth? Not many. And keep in mind, the truth is a threat. Okay? Keep that in mind. So that's where creativity, I was talking to someone yesterday, because we had an incident where people keep coming to places that doesn't belong to them. You know what I mean? In other words, they're trespassing, they're infringing, they're invading other people and their property, and their this and that and the other. And I mean, you it's important to understand your accountabilities and your responsibilities on how you're behaving and acting. And it's not going to be possible because of the size of this planet. When I say the size of it, the number of people on this planet, to get your needs met. In other words, other people are going to be stepping all over you to get their needs met. So there's going to be a battle, and the battle can mean something literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. So you're going to have to figure out how to unravel yourself out of certain behaviors and actions. Okay? As I said, with the criminal energy, you can unravel yourself out of it. It's going to be difficult. You might be physically harmed, whatever, but you have to unravel yourself out of that. And it's no longer going to be possible for other people who have put in the work, put in the effort, behind the scenes or not, to make things right and to genuinely help people and genuinely care. I sense and receive it, and it brings so much joy to me, because there are people out there that genuinely care and genuinely want to help people to what? To heal, to recover, okay, and get out of the spin. But there are some of you who are draining energy of other people. And I told you, there are certain human beings, I guess I should say, certain levels of human beings at a certain consciousness level are causing themselves to go extinct. Okay, because they're not thinking properly. Okay, we are spiritual beings in a material body. These bodies get replaced with a new, fresh, you pass that baton to a fresh and clean slate personality, and they keep that journey going for you. I talked about that. I call it re-aliving. Is what it's called, re-aliving. I'll go into that at another time. My point today is that a lot of people are not going to be able to help you at all once you get to this, and because we're operating below the surface. It is not possible for anyone that has worked themselves up to the proper, via proper means. I mean, they put in the effort, they put in the work. A lot of people call it sacrifice. No, it's not a sacrifice. It's called self-love. That's what it's called. Okay, self-love. When you are intentionally doing the best you can to develop yourself, to create, and also, be in the process of love, the act of love, the act of caring, the act of universal love. So there are some of you who still are playing these games, crying at the drop of crying over spilt milk, as they say. You're playing games. You know that you all you had to do is go in there and cry a certain way, talk a certain way, walk a certain way. You're manipulating. You want something. You're draining energy. Okay, and I told you we have a catastrophe ahead, evolving our electrical grid, and that's literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. Okay, a catastrophe waiting. So a lot of you, maybe billions, billions and billions of you will be left behind. Okay, and what you're going to have to rely on is, surviving the best way you can, getting through it the best way you can. But don't be cowardly and attempt to take yourself out, because all you're going to do is just make matters worse. I put a video on that as well. What we're learning is, you believe that if you just take yourself out before it's time, that, okay, everything's, all you're doing is just adding more and more and more. It's just is you compounding the issues, and it's going to be devolve and repeat. You're devolving, repeating, devolving. Can you imagine? Picture it. You're in a war-torn situation, whether it's a literal war or most of the time it's thought-based war within you. And you think, okay, if I just take myself out, it'll be all over. No. All you're doing is passing that baton over to a fresh, new, brand new, fresh and clean personality, and they're going to have to pick up from where you left off. If they do it all. If they do it all. So These are defining moments. It's not just about an election. It's about a cosmic event that we're approaching. And it is no longer business as usual. That has been the theme, no longer business as usual for thousands of years. Okay. So when it comes to your accountability and responsibility, it's all about you. And as I said, there are people out there that are doing genuinely good work and they put in the effort. They're not going to be able to. No one's going to logically step back in a fire. Okay, no one's going to do that when it's an obvious. You could say it literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, fire. And you know someone's there in it. Are you going to step back in there to save someone? No one's going to logically do that. And so a lot of you are putting yourselves in fires, putting yourself in storms, putting yourselves in flood, putting yourselves in earthquakes, and believing, that somebody's going to save you. Okay, that's that illusion of the supernatural, that somebody's going to come and save you somehow. Okay, and I've asked this question so many times. If someone's going to save you, because I don't subscribe to that, but if you believe someone's coming to save you, when will they be here? You ought to know that, right? You ought to know. And to tell me that I have to die before I'll know that answer, you see how illogical that is, how crazy making that is? So that's why people believe, well, if I take myself out, I'm going to my maker. No, you're not. I'm sorry to bust your bubbles, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, but you're going to cycle. What's going to happen is your lineage, it's your spirit. It's going to impulse another personality once you take yourself out, if that's what you believe. And even if you just pass away naturally, your spirit form is going to impulse, into another fresh and clean, new, everything new, fresh and clean. They're not going to remember anything about you, but they're going to attempt to evolve because of you. Think about all of this and just kind of breathe, relax, and just take it through. So a lot is on our plates because of our behaviors and actions. Unfortunately, war. If war doesn't take us out, war affects our consciousness. By the way, severely. If war doesn't take us out, I told you Mother Nature is going to take over. And Mother Nature, not take over, Mother Nature is going to make things right. Okay, I told you this planet can survive without human beings. But this planet cannot survive without plants, flora, biodiversity, animals. Human beings, be damned. Okay? So think about what's happening right now. Okay, and just make sure you're making decisions on what you sense that will keep us going forward. And I'm talking about keep the ones that are righteous going forward. It has nothing to do about politics per se, but we need to move forward. We need to keep it moving. We need to keep it moving. And it doesn't matter what's happening in the pyramid of politics and the pyramid of schemes and because it's all a game, and you just need to know how to be creative about it and just play along with it. No one has to know. Get it done. Make things right. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. I need to get some coffee into me. I just want to share this with you on this day of we're going to remember these times. A lot of us are going to be sitting back thinking about what we've caused to happen. A lot of us on our watch because of intentional or unconscious. And then there's going to be those of us that are, genuinely caring and loving and want to spread universal love, want to spread love. So you do that. Spread love to yourself first, though. Peace and love, and trust me, I'll be back.